The cold air of New York's evening wrapped around them like invisible glass. Emily stood by the hotel entrance, her maid uniform slightly trembling in the wind. Her hands were clasped, eyes fixed on the man in front of her. Michael Carter, the multimillionaire CEO known for never losing control. But tonight, something in his voice cracked. "Do you really think I wouldn't find out?" he said quietly, each word slicing through the silence like a blade. Emily didn't flinch. "I only did what was right," she whispered. For a moment, time stopped, the lights of the city reflecting in their eyes, a war between power and dignity. What happened next would change both their lives forever. But no one around them could have imagined why he had really called her there. Before we begin this emotional story, tell us in the comments from which city you are watching, and don't forget to leave your like to keep following us. The marble floors of the Carter Hotel gleamed under the dim light, reflecting the night rain sliding down the glass doors. Emily moved quietly, her footsteps echoing between the polished walls. She wasn't supposed to be here this late. The cleaning crew had finished hours ago, but she stayed, always stayed, because there was more to clean than dust. She adjusted her apron, brushing a loose strand of hair from her face. In her pocket, the small folded paper felt heavier than gold. It wasn't just paper. It was proof, something she wasn't meant to see. Behind her, the elevator chimed. A deep, steady voice followed. "Emily." She froze. That tone, calm yet sharp, could only belong to one man. Michael Carter stepped out of the elevator, dressed in his usual black suit. Even after midnight, the millionaire CEO looked like he had just stepped out of a boardroom. His expression didn't betray anger, only control. He moved closer, the scent of cologne and rain trailing behind him. "You've been here long after your shift. Any reason why?" Emily swallowed. "I was finishing the West Wing, sir. He cut her off with a slow tilt of his head. "Don't lie to me. I know when people lie." She wanted to speak, to explain, but something in his eyes stopped her. They weren't cruel, not yet, but they were searching, calculating. The same eyes that had built empires, signed million-dollar contracts and broken hearts without blinking. Michael circled her slowly, his shoes silent on the marble. "Do you know what happens to people who touch what's not theirs in my hotel?" Emily didn't answer. The folded paper burned against her palm like a secret begging to be revealed. He extended a hand, palm open. "Give it to me." Silence filled the hall. A car honked outside, distant and lonely. Emily's chest tightened. If she handed it over, everything she'd discovered would vanish. The truth about his late-night meetings, the secret accounts, the contract marriage, all of it. "I can't," she whispered. For the first time, Michael's composure cracked. "You can't?" His voice darkened. "You think you can blackmail me, a millionaire CEO, over something you don't understand?" Her breath shook, but her eyes stayed firm. "I'm not blackmailing you, Mr. Carter. I'm protecting someone." He took a step closer, close enough for her to see the tension in his jaw. "Who?" Emily hesitated, her heart pounding. The truth wasn't ready yet. Not tonight. "You'll find out soon," she said quietly. Michael's stare lingered, unreadable. Then he turned toward the security camera above the elevator. "Turn it off," he said to the guard through his earpiece. "Now." The small red light blinked out. The air shifted, thick, private, dangerous. "Fine," he said. "If you want to play this game, then I'll watch every move you make. Every step." His voice lowered. "Let's see how long your little secret survives." He walked away, his reflection fading in the glass, leaving Emily alone with the folded paper trembling in her hand. She looked down the empty hall, the silence pressing against her ribs. He thought he had control, but he didn't know the truth she carried, a truth that could destroy him or save him. And as the elevator doors closed, Emily finally exhaled, whispering to herself, "It's only beginning." Rain streaked the hotel's glass doors as a black SUV pulled up to the curb. The night outside felt heavier than usual, the sky low and bruised. Jack Miller stepped out from the driver's seat, straightening his dark coat, his eyes instinctively scanning the entrance. Years in the Marines had carved that habit into his bones. Always assess, always predict the threat before it sees you. Tonight, the threat had a name he didn't expect: Emily. Michael was already waiting under the awning, one hand in his pocket, the other tapping impatiently against his phone. The billionaire's jaw was tight, but his voice, when he spoke, was controlled ice. "You're late," he said. Jack checked his watch. 3 minutes, sir. 3 minutes is enough to lose a deal. Or a life. Michael's eyes flicked to the revolving door, where Emily had just disappeared inside with her mop cart. "I have a different assignment for you tonight." Jack followed his gaze, brow furrowing. "You want me to watch the entrance? The gala's over. There's no one left but staff." "Exactly." Michael's lips curved into something that wasn't quite a smile. "That staff includes one particular cleaning lady who doesn't understand boundaries." Jack glanced back at Emily through the glass. She pushed her cart with small, measured movements, like someone trying not to be seen. Poor Maid in a world of marble and crystal. Nothing about her screamed danger. But Jack had learned long ago that trouble rarely announced itself loudly. "What did she do?" he asked. Michael stepped closer, lowering his voice. "She took something that belongs to me. Nothing leaves this hotel without my permission. Not files, not clients, not secrets." "Want me to search her?" Jack asked, already prepared to follow orders. "Not yet." Michael's gaze hardened. "I want you to watch her. Everywhere, every shift, every break. If she meets someone, I want to know who. If she hides something, I want to know where. And if she thinks she can play with me..." He paused, eyes narrowing. "I'll deal with her myself." Jack nodded, though unease tugged at him. He'd seen the millionaire CEO crush competitors, dismantle rivals, even ruin men twice his size with a single phone call. But this, targeting a housekeeper barely making rent? It didn't sit right, but his loyalty was paid for, and paid well. Inside, Emily pushed her cart toward the service elevator, unaware that new eyes were locked on her. She swiped her employee card, the doors sliding open with a beep that sounded louder in the empty corridor. As she stepped in, a shadow moved into the corner. Jack, leaning casually against the opposite wall, pretending to check his phone. Their eyes met for half a second. She hesitated. The elevator doors closed between them. In the confined space, Emily exhaled shakily, feeling the folded paper again against her palm. It was now tucked into the lining of her pocket, hidden behind a clumsy stitch she'd sewn herself. She pressed her hand there as if to reassure herself it was still real. On the 12th floor, the doors opened to a quieter world, the luxury suites. The hallway smelled faintly of expensive cologne and room service trays. Emily moved from door to door, collecting dishes, straightening rugs, wiping away the last traces of other people's lives. Her phone buzzed in her apron. She checked the screen. Lily. 4 missed calls. Her heart sank. She ducked into an empty linen closet, the scent of fabric softener wrapping around her. With trembling fingers, she hit redial. "Mom?" Lily's small voice came through immediately, tight and worried. "I'm here, baby," Emily whispered. "Why are you still awake?" "The landlord came again," Lily said. "He said if you don't pay by Friday, we have to leave." Emily closed her eyes, leaning her forehead against the shelves. She could picture her daughter, messy ponytail, oversized sweater, trying to sound brave. A single mother working double shifts in a hotel where no one knew her name, while her little girl faced problems she was too young to understand. "Don't worry," Emily said softly. "Mommy's working on it, okay? I found something. It might help us." "What is it?" Emily hesitated, glancing at the door. For a second, she thought she saw movement under the crack of light, a shadow shifting. "It's complicated, honey," she said. "Just trust me. And lock the door, all right?" "Okay, I love you, Mom. I love you more." She ended the call and slipped the phone back into her apron. When she opened the door, Jack was standing on the other side, arms crossed. "How long have you been there?" she asked, breath catching. "Long enough," he said. His gaze wasn't cruel, just sharp. "You know we're not supposed to take personal calls during shift." "It was an emergency." "Everything's an emergency when you're broke," he replied, then seemed to regret the harshness in his words. "Look, Emily, the Michael wants me to keep an eye on you." Her blood ran cold. "Why?" "He thinks you took something." Jack studied her face. "Did you?" Emily met his eyes, the weight of the hidden paper pressing against her like a confession. "No," she said quietly. For a moment it seemed he might believe her. Then his jaw tightened. "I'll be around," he said, stepping aside. "Don't give me a reason to report anything, or this is going to get ugly for you." She watched him walk away, his broad back disappearing down the hall. The walls felt narrower, the air thinner. Emily reached into her pocket and touched the rough stitch hiding what she'd found. It wasn't just about money anymore. It was about a contract, a name, and a date that tied her life to Michael's in a way he didn't yet know. If the secret ever got revealed, it wouldn't just ruin his empire. It would expose why a man like him had once needed a contract marriage, and why her name appeared in the same file as his. The next morning, the hotel lobby buzzed with the soft chaos of business travelers and whispered gossip. Emily moved between armchairs and glass tables, her cleaning cart stacked with folded towels and polish. Guests barely noticed her. To them, she was just another cleaning lady blending into the wallpaper. But today she felt every stare. She could feel Jack somewhere behind her, watching like a shadow with a pulse. "Miss, can you wipe this?" a woman in a beige coat snapped, pointing to a tiny water ring on the table. "Of course," Emily said, forcing a smile. Her hands worked on autopilot, spray, wipe, straighten, while her mind replayed last night. Michael's order, Jack's warning, Lily's scared voice. When she finished the lobby, she pushed the cart toward the executive offices on the mezzanine. That floor always made her uneasy. Deals worth millions were discussed in rooms she only entered to empty trash cans and pretend not to hear names. As the elevator doors opened, she almost collided with Michael's assistant, Chloe, a blonde woman whose heels clicked like punctuation marks. "Watch it," Chloe muttered, then paused. Her eyes narrowed. "You're Emily, right?" "Yes, ma'am." "The boss wants his office spotless. He has a meeting with an investor at 9. Don't touch his desk." Emily nodded, but her pulse spiked. His desk was where she'd found it, the file half hidden under a stack of contracts 2 nights ago, when she'd been called in to clean after hours. She slipped into Michael's office once Chloe disappeared down the hall. The curtains were half open, letting in grey New York light. The city stretched beyond the windows, towers of steel, money and secrets. She moved quickly, dusting shelves, straightening chairs. Her eyes drifted to the desk. She shouldn't look. She knew that. But curiosity and desperation had already crossed that line once. A memory flickered. That night, the folder accidentally knocked to the floor, papers spilling like fallen feathers. She'd bent to gather them when one page stopped her cold. Michael Carter, marriage contract, beneficiary, Emily Dawson. Her own name, printed in black ink on a document she'd never signed. A date from 6 years ago, the year she got pregnant with Lily. A year she could barely remember without flinching. Back in the present, the door suddenly clicked behind her. Emily spun around. Jack stood there, arms crossed, expression unreadable. "You're not supposed to be alone in here," he said. "I'm just cleaning," she replied, feeling heat rise to her face. He walked toward the window, glancing at the desk. Michael doesn't like people touching his things, especially people he doesn't trust. Emily tightened her grip on the duster. "Then why keep me here?" Jack hesitated. "Because whatever you know, he wants to control it." Their eyes met. For a moment, the guard and the maid were just a man and a woman stuck in someone else's game. "You look like you haven't slept," he added. "Single mothers don't sleep much," she said quietly. Something softened in his gaze, but it vanished quickly. "Whatever you think you found, let it go. You don't want to mess with him." "And what if what I found was about me?" she asked. Jack's jaw tensed. "What did you say?" Emily opened her mouth, but the office phone rang, shrill and abrupt. Jack glanced at the caller ID, eyes flicking to her. "It's him," he muttered, picking up. "Yes, sir. She's here." Emily watched Jack's face change as he listened, a shadow passing through his features. When he hung up, he looked at her with a new weight. "Michael wants you in the penthouse tonight," Jack said slowly. "He said it's time you explained yourself." The words settled between them like thunder about to break. By the time night wrapped itself around the city again, Emily's nerves felt stripped raw. The rain had stopped, but the streets outside the hotel glistened, reflecting the lights like broken promises. She stood in the staff locker room, staring at her reflection in the small metal mirror. dark circles under her eyes, hair pulled tight, uniform pressed as neatly as she could manage. She looked like every other poor maid trying to survive another shift, but nothing about tonight was normal. Her phone buzzed again. A text from Lily. "Are you coming home after work?" Emily typed back with shaking fingers. "I'll try, baby. Be safe. I love you." She slid the phone away, took a deep breath and headed for the service elevator. Jack was waiting by the doors, hands in his pockets. His face was calm, but his eyes were restless. "You ready?" he asked. "For what?" she replied. "A lecture? A threat? A firing?" He didn't answer. When the elevator arrived, he stepped in beside her and pressed the button for the top floor. The doors closed with a heavy finality. As they ascended, Emily felt the weight of every floor passing beneath them. 2nd, 5th, 10th, 20th. Each ding sounded like a countdown. "You could still tell me what you took," Jack said suddenly. "I might be able to help." "You work for him," she said. "You're paid to protect him, not me." "I'm paid to protect what he values," Jack replied. "Lately, I'm not sure what that is." The elevator stopped with a soft jolt. The doors opened into a private hallway lined with art and soft lighting. It didn't look like part of the same hotel, more like a hidden world above it. At the end of the corridor, double doors waited, slightly ajar. Warm light spilled through the crack. "Go ahead," Jack said quietly. "He's expecting you." Emily walked, each step echoing. Her fingers brushed the inside of her pocket, feeling the hidden stitch once more. The proof was still there. The secret remained hers, for now. She pushed the doors open. The penthouse was all glass and shadows, New York spread out below, like a glittering map of mistakes. Michael stood by the bar, loosening his tie, watching her as if he'd been studying her from the moment she stepped out of the elevator. "Close the door," he said. She did. The soft click sounded louder than it should. "Do you know how many people would kill for an invitation up here?" Michael asked, pouring himself a drink. "Investors, politicians, actors, yet I called you." Emily stayed near the entrance, back straight. "I didn't ask to come." "I didn't ask you to take what you found either," he replied. He took a slow sip, eyes never leaving her. "But here we are." He set the glass down. "Let's stop pretending. You saw something you weren't meant to see. You think it gives you leverage, maybe revenge." "I don't want revenge," she said. "I want answers." Michael approached her, each step deliberate. "About what?" she swallowed. "About why my name is on a contract marriage tied to your signature." For a moment, the world outside the windows might as well have disappeared. Michael's expression shattered, not into anger, but into something much more dangerous: recognition. He stared at her as if seeing her for the first time. "Who told you that?" he whispered. "I read it myself," Emily said. "And I want to know why." The silence that followed felt like standing on the edge of a rooftop, waiting to see if you'd be pushed, or if someone would finally admit the shocking truth. Michael didn't look away. For a moment, Emily thought he might yell, deny, call her crazy. Instead, he went strangely still, as if someone had reached inside him and pulled a wire too tight. "Who told you?" he repeated, voice low. "No one," she said. "I saw it on your desk. A file with your name. A marriage contract. And mine." He moved past her, set his glass down with too much force. The ice clinked against crystal, sharp in the quiet penthouse. "You weren't supposed to see that." Emily let out a breath that was almost a laugh. "No kidding." He turned back to her. "You think this is some fairy tale? That a millionaire CEO secretly married a maid for love and kept her hidden in a broom closet?" Her throat tightened. "I don't think it was for love at all." He stared at her for a long moment, then walked to the floor-to-ceiling windows. The city glowed at their feet, Manhattan like a cluster of diamonds laid on black velvet. "My father was dying," he said. "He built this company, and he didn't trust me with it. He thought I was reckless, selfish, too focused on money, not enough on his family. So he put one condition in his will: no marriage by 30, no full control." Emily's heartbeat drummed in her ears. "So you did the easiest thing. You used a stranger." He didn't deny it. "I told my lawyer to make it clean," he said. "No one who'd come after me, no scandals. Find a woman with no connections, no power, Someone who needed cash so badly she'd sign anything. A homeless woman, a single mother. They brought your file from a shelter, St. Andrews, I think. The name hit her like a slap. Cold walls, old coffee smell, the murmur of volunteers, rain on the window. She saw flashes, a clipboard, a woman in a blazer. A form pushed under her hand. I don't remember you, she whispered. You were exhausted, he said quietly. Barely talking. You wore a grey coat 2 sizes too big. We stood in front of a judge for 10 minutes, signed, took 1 photo for proof, and you left. I signed the annulment papers months later. At least I thought I did. Her voice trembled. Then why is my name still there? Because someone didn't file it, he said. Someone kept that contract marriage alive on paper. Someone who realized a secret wife is a perfect weapon. Emily's mind raced. Chloe, the lawyer, someone at the shelter. The folded paper in her pocket suddenly felt like it belonged to a bomb, not a life. What about Lily? She asked, barely audible. The question hung there, fragile. You were already pregnant when we married, he said. I saw it in the file. I never asked if she was yours, Emily finished. He held her gaze. For once, there was no arrogance, no mask. Just a man who had built everything on numbers and had finally stumbled over one he couldn't calculate. I don't know what I'd do if she is, he admitted, or if she's not. Either way, I owe you more than this. A knock at the door sliced through the moment. Jack stepped in without waiting. Sorry to interrupt, he said, though his expression said he wasn't sorry at all. You both need to see this. He held up his phone. On the screen, an email was open. Subject line: Is your cleaning lady really your wife? Below it, a blurry photo of Emily in her uniform pushing her cart. Someone had already started the fire, and none of them knew yet who was holding the gasoline. They gathered around the marble counter like people crowding around bad news. Who sent it? Michael asked. Jack scrolled. Anonymous. But it's been forwarded to 3 board members, legal, and someone in PR. Emily's chest tightened. So they know. They suspect, Jack said. They don't have the contract itself. Just a rumor and a picture of a poor maid in a rich man's hotel. Michael rubbed his temples. Rumors spread faster than proof. Especially when people want to believe them, Jack added. Emily stepped away, arms wrapped around herself. The glass walls, the expensive furniture, the bar, it all felt like a stage in a play she hadn't agreed to be in. Why keep me here? She asked. If I'm so dangerous, why not fire me? Because if I push you out now, it looks like guilt, Michael said, and because I don't think you're the one trying to hurt me. She let out a breath. Then who is? He looked at Jack. Find out. Trace where this started, and make sure no one else gets a picture like that with her face in it. Jack nodded and slipped out, already calling someone. Emily turned back to Michael. What happens to me when this explodes? He paused. If they frame it as fraud, as some trick, you'll be painted as a scammer, a gold digger, a homeless woman who trapped a millionaire CEO for money. They'll tear your life apart to keep mine intact. Her hand flew to her mouth. Lily. He saw the terror in her eyes, and for the first time his voice softened. How old is she? He asked. 6. He swallowed hard. She deserves better than headlines. Emily stared at him. You talk like you care. I talk like someone who put you in the line of fire, he said. I was arrogant. I thought you'd get money and I'd get my company. Clean. Simple. But nothing stays simple when humans are involved. She looked down, blinking away the burn in her eyes. Let me show you something, she said suddenly. He frowned. Now? Now. Before someone else rewrites this story for us. Minutes later, they were in the hotel's basement, walking through a maze of storage rooms and humming pipes. The air was cooler here, heavy with bleach and metal. Emily stopped at a small unlabeled door and pulled out a key. Where did you get that? He asked. From a supervisor who thinks maids don't read labels, she said. We clean everything. We see more than people realize. Inside, old files and boxes crowded the shelves. It smelled like dust and forgotten details. She pushed aside a crate and reached behind a loose panel in the wall. From the gap, she pulled out a plastic sleeve. Inside it, the photocopy of the contract. I made this the night I found it, she said. I didn't know what it meant yet. I just knew my name wasn't supposed to be in your paperwork. Michael took it, eyes scanning the lines. His own signature stared back at him, neat, detached, as if the man who signed it hadn't imagined the person attached to the other name. At the bottom, a small clause Emily hadn't fully understood glared up at them. In the event that the spouse remains uninformed of the full nature of this agreement until the transfer date, all primary control passes to Michael Carter. In the event that the spouse becomes fully informed before the transfer date, she retains beneficiary rights to all contested assets. "What does that mean?" she asked. "It means," he said slowly, "if you truly understand what you signed, you could legally claim part of my world." She stared at the paper, thinking of Lily, the landlord, overdue bills, a life of cleaning other people's crumbs. "I didn't ask for your world," she whispered. "Someone else did," he replied. "Someone who leaked this email." Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. One new message. "You don't know the whole story. Meet me at the bench across from St. Andrew's shelter tomorrow, 8 p.m. Come alone, or they'll tell it for you." A chill slid down her spine. Michael saw her face change. "What is it?" Emily locked the screen and slipped the phone into her pocket. "Nothing you can control," she said. For the first time since she'd met him, the billionaire CEO wasn't the one holding all the strings. St. Andrews looked smaller than she remembered. The next night, the city was damp from a light drizzle, the streetlights haloed in mist. Emily's coat wasn't warm enough, but she hugged it tighter anyway as she crossed the street toward the park bench facing the shelter. She'd stood here years ago, stomach queasy, baby moving inside her, clutching a paper cup of watery coffee. Now she sat again, hands clasped, eyes on the shelter door. "You came," a voice said. Emily turned. A woman in her 50s approached, carrying a worn leather folder. Her hair was pulled back, streaked with grey, eyes sharp but not unkind. "I'm Teresa Cole," she said. "I used to do legal work for St. Andrews pro bono. That's how your file crossed my desk." Emily's heartbeat thudded. "You were there when I signed?" Teresa sat beside her. "You were barely walking straight, sick, exhausted, stressed. Someone from Michael's team approached me about helping a woman from the shelter in exchange for a quick legal arrangement. I told myself I was putting money in your hands. I didn't ask enough questions." Emily's fingers curled. "You let them use me." "I did," Teresa said quietly, "and I've regretted it ever since." She opened the folder, pulling out a stack of papers. The same contract, but with highlighted sections, notes in the margins. "His board got nervous a few months ago," Teresa continued. "They were investigating any skeletons that could be used against him. One of them asked me to verify this contract, to confirm you were real. That's when I realized they weren't interested in protecting you. You were a weapon." "Against him," Emily said. "And collateral," Teresa added. "If this explodes publicly, you'll get attention, but not the kind you want. They'll call you a scammer, a gold digger, a homeless woman who trapped a millionaire CEO. They won't show your daughter's face, they'll show your worst day." Emily swallowed hard. Lily's name tasted like something fragile she was afraid to drop. "So what do you want from me?" she asked. "I want you to understand your leverage," Teresa said. "If you assert that clause, you can demand fair compensation, a fund, security, a future for your child. They can't erase you anymore." "It sounds like revenge," Emily murmured. "Call it balance," Teresa replied. "Michael took your name, your signature, your invisibility. He got an empire. You got another bill to pay." Across the street, a black SUV was parked with its lights off. Emily couldn't see through the tinted glass, but she felt certain eyes on her. She had no doubt Jack had followed, whether Michael ordered it or not. "You'll have to decide soon," Teresa said. "The transfer clause matures in 48 hours. After that, this paper becomes just an old mistake no one cares about." "What if I do nothing?" Emily asked. "Then the board will use it without you," Teresa said. "They'll leak, twist, destroy. They're not interested in your dignity, just his downfall." The word dignity hit something deep. She thought of mopping up champagne spills while rich guests laughed, thought of keeping her eyes down when people waved their hands at her like she was part of the furniture, thought of Lily sleeping in their tiny apartment, unaware of how close they'd been to the street. Teresa touched her hand lightly. "You're not a prop, Emily. You're the missing half of a story that everyone else wants to tell for you." The shelter door opened, and a young woman with a trash bag stepped out, shoulders hunched. Emily watched her cross the lot. Same tired walk. Same hopeless shuffle Emily remembered in her own bones. "She looks like me," Emily whispered. "Exactly," Teresa said. "What you decide won't just be about money. It'll be about what kind of power you leave in the hands of men who assume women like you stay quiet." Emily stood, clutching the folder to her chest. "If I do this," she said, "if I demand anything, I don't want blood, I want stability. For Lily, for me, for women like her." A small, tired smile tugged at Teresa's mouth. "That's more dangerous than revenge. It's harder to fight." Emily glanced once more at the shelter, then at the shadowed SUV across the street. She wasn't sure yet whose side she was on, but for the first time, she knew she had one. The Carter Hotel shone brighter than usual 2 nights later. Those special investors' reception filled the grand ballroom. Crystal chandeliers, live jazz, waiters weaving through the crowd with flutes of champagne. Cameras hovered near the back, catching sound bites, smiles, curated images of success. Emily moved among them in her uniform, carrying a tray. She hadn't been scheduled for this shift, but Chloe had pulled her in last minute, because we need everyone tonight. Funny, Emily thought, how people suddenly noticed the cleaning lady when the building was under a microscope. On the stage, a large screen displayed the Carter Holdings logo. Michael stood just off to the side, talking to a small cluster of board members. His suit was flawless, his face composed, but his eyes were edged with something like fatigue. Jack waited near an entrance, scanning the room, earpiece in, body still. He caught Emily's gaze for a moment, a silent question there. "Are you going to do it?" She wasn't sure of the answer yet. The host stepped up to the microphone. "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the man whose vision has carried this company into a new era, Michael Carter." Polite applause. A few cameras zoomed in. Michael approached the podium. For a second, his gaze drifted over the crowd, as if searching for something, or someone. "Thank you for coming," he began. "Tonight we were supposed to talk about expansion, numbers, strategy, but lately a different story has been trying to attach itself to my name." A ripple of interest moved through the room. "You may have heard rumors," he continued, "about a contract marriage, about a woman from my past I never acknowledged publicly. You may even have seen emails." Chloe stiffened at the edge of the stage. This wasn't the speech they had written. Emily stepped closer to the front, tray trembling slightly in her hand. "The rumor," Michael said, "is not entirely false." The room gasped. A reporter's pen froze over her notebook. "Years ago," he went on, "I entered an arrangement I thought was harmless. I let people choose a woman I didn't know, a homeless woman struggling with more than I'd ever understand. I married her on paper to meet a requirement for my inheritance. I told myself that paying her was enough, that she'd forget me, that I'd never see her again." He paused. "But life doesn't forget the people we treat like they're disposable." Emily set the tray down on a side table, heart pounding. Her legs carried her forward before her mind fully caught up. She stepped out from behind a column, walking toward the stage. Murmurs bloomed like smoke. Phones lifted. Someone whispered, "Isn't that the maid from the email?" Michael saw her and fell silent. She reached the foot of the stairs and stopped, suddenly aware of every eye, every lens. For a moment her courage flickered. Then she thought of Lily, of the women at St. Andrews, of Teresa saying, "You're not a prop." Emily climbed the small steps to the stage. Chloe stepped forward. "You can't be up here." Michael lifted a hand. "Let her." The microphone picked up Emily's shaky breath. "I didn't even remember his face," she said, eyes on the audience, not on him. "When I signed those papers, I was just trying to stay alive. I was a single mother, scared, homeless, exhausted. They told me it was assistance, legal help. I never understood that a millionaire CEO was putting my name into his world without telling me what it really meant." A hush fell. The jazz in the other room had stopped. Even the clink of glasses seemed to pause. "I don't want his empire," she continued. "I don't want revenge. I just don't want to be blacklisted, lied about, or used one more time." She turned her head toward Michael now. "You made me your wife on a paper I never read. and when I ended up cleaning your floors years later, you didn't even recognize me." Something shifted in his face. Shame, recognition, a crack in the armor. "What do you want, Emily?" he asked, his voice bare. She stepped closer so only he could hear her next words, microphone catching only a murmur. "I want Lily to sleep without fear," she whispered. "Help me secure her future quietly and I'll walk away from your throne. No interviews, no lawsuits, no destroying your name just because I can." His eyes widened slightly. Press leaned forward, trying to catch something, anything. Michael turned back to the microphone. "I don't know yet what this will cost me," he said. "But I know what it already cost her, so I'm not going to deny it. I'm going to fix what I can, even if it means giving up more than I planned." The room buzzed with speculation, whispered calculations. Emily stepped off the stage, heart pounding, leaving behind a storm no headline could fully explain. What happened next wouldn't be decided under chandeliers. It would be decided in a smaller room with quieter contracts and a different kind of power. The hotel was quieter now. The headlines had begun to fade, replaced by newer scandals. Behind closed doors, only two people remained bound by the truth no one else could fully claim. In a small meeting room, a single contract lay between them. Michael looked tired, the kind of tired that came from losing something money couldn't buy. "This voids everything," Teresa said softly. "The fake marriage, the buried lies. It gives Emily legal closure and Lily a future." Emily ran her thumb over the edge of the paper. "And you?" she asked him. "I give back what never should have been mine," Michael said. "Control, silence, the illusion that I could use someone and walk away clean." He pushed a folder toward her. "A trust for Lily and the building on 14th Street. You'll never have to beg a landlord again." She hesitated. "You're really doing this?" "I've done worse," he said. "This is the first thing that feels right." Emily signed, her hand steady this time. No fear, no secrets. When she looked up, Michael was already watching her. Not as a maid or a mistake, but as someone who had finally forced him to face the man he'd been. Jack opened the door. "It's done?" Emily nodded. "Done." And with that, the story that began in shadows quietly rewrote itself in silence. Months later, the Carter Hotel sparkled as if nothing had ever happened. But on 14th Street, a small brick building breathed with new life. The sign above the door read, "Lily House." Inside, women laughed over coffee, folded donated clothes, and made plans that sounded like hope. Emily still cleaned sometimes, but the broom now felt like a crown. She'd built something from the ashes of a contract. Not revenge, just redemption in small human ways. One evening, Lily pressed her face to the window. "Mom, that car again," she whispered. Across the street, a black sedan idled quietly. Inside, Michael sat watching, hands folded on the wheel. He never came in. He never needed to. Emily smiled faintly. "He's someone who finally learned what real debt looks like." The car pulled away, vanishing into the city glow. And for the first time, she didn't feel like someone's secret, just a woman who had survived the truth. The world forgot the scandal, but its echoes built something lasting. Michael kept his empire, though it no longer ruled him. Emily kept her dignity and gave it a door, a name, and a light that stayed on for others who had none. Lily House stood as proof that quiet courage can outlast wealth, and that even the most powerful contracts crumble before a mother's will to protect her child. Sometimes the shocking truth isn't what's revealed to the world, but what's rebuilt after the silence. Thank you for staying with us until the end of this heart-touching story. Tell us in the comments which part moved you the most. Subscribe and turn on the bell to receive more stories that inspire and transform. Leave a like if you believe in the invisible strength of dignity and family. And above all, thank you for being part of this community that believes in stories with soul. And before you go, watch the story I leave here on the left. I'm sure it will also move you and make you reflect.